Okay, we are going into set number 2. And I don't know, like, the quality is no worse than the previous rebroadcasts, so I'm not really sure what you guys are complaining about. Because the VOD is in 480p, and I'm broadcasting in 600p. So there's no quality reduction on my end. Oh, well, obviously it's worse than replays. Storko, you know what? You know what, I'm gonna be manner. You know what, fuck being manner. Are you stupid? Of course it's worse than replays. When I broadcast replays, I'm at like the full 600p. I don't even. Yeah, it is 400p because the VOD is 480p. It's a 480p VOD, and I can't do anything about that. That is the highest quality VOD available right now. This is the official VOD from Esports TV, and it's 480p. And the Nabake VODs were the same. So all you whiners can just shut the fuck up. Just shut the fuck up. Alright, good. So, let me adjust the overlay. Bum, bum, bum. So the players are Yunjung for STX and SOS Cal. I don't know whether to call him like Sauce Cal? SOS Cal? Oh man, also this is like not gonna fit. I think I'll just remove the races, and then the names will fit. Nice. Alright. Oh, SOS is shy. Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, unfortunately, the way the VODs are labeled, actually, because it's on like the official channel, they actually use like the IDs the players use rather than like their well-known IDs. For example, Iris is now Berserker and not Iris, even though, you know, we all know him as Iris. And Yunjung is Shuttle. So I'm actually going to change this to Shuttle versus Shy. Because I have no... Yunjung and SOS, man. Those are not their names. This is not correct. Alright. We're gonna go with Shuttle and Shy. So, Shuttle will be the blue Protoss here in the top right, and Shy, I believe, is the purple Protoss in the top left. I hope I didn't get that wrong. If I cast this backwards, that would be pretty terrible. Alright, so now I actually do have space to add the races. Ooh, so I'm basically just copying the Korean overlay. You can see that. So that should, if that's wrong, then it's not my fault. Anyway, we're on Jade this time. It's basically the standard macro map of the new season. And it's going to be a PvP. Shuttle versus Shy. Now, Shy, oh, it looks like we have some fancy thing. I don't know what that was about. Yeah, so Shy actually, I mean, I think his most notable accomplishment is... I can't even remember what I was going to say. So it probably wasn't very notable at all. Wow. Complete brain fart there. Oh my god, what was I going to say? I'm so sorry, guys. Like I said, I'm like still really sick right now. So, yeah. Ay. What? What? I know. God damn it. Ah. Terrible. Alright, we're just gonna pretend he has no notable accomplishments then. Shuttle, on the other hand, is one of the better players on STX. So, STX definitely leading off with their top players. And I think that's interesting because someone made a post or a thread or something talking about how, like, just mathematically speaking, if you lead off with your first 3 players, like your best 3 players in the first 3 slots, you get more, or you'll like automatically win 20% of your matches or something like that. I can't remember. It was a very interesting statistic. And I mean, we've seen teams like KTF employ that strategy. You know, leading off with flash and stats, and then failing miserably in the next 3 sets. Lol. So, looks like Shuttle poked in there, perhaps went for that matter pylon. As you can see, there's a zealot blocking that. That's what that's for. If Shuttle put a pylon in that position, it would block off 2 mineral patches and trap some probes. So that's quite nice. I think that's is that also possible on the top right? I'm not actually sure. I know, for example, on Outlier, there's a slight positional balance where you can do that on the 9 o'clock position, but you can't do it on the other 2 positions. And no, it looks like it is mirrored actually in this side, so that's good. So we have 2 zealots first for Shuttle. The 7x core is spinning for both players. I actually didn't notice what that building was. Anyway, it looks like we have the Dragoon of sHy running around here looking for that scouting probe, but Shuttle's actually just hidden that kind of in a random location in the middle of the map. And sHy is actually keeping... Sorry, Shuttle is actually keeping all of his pylons kind of next to each other. I don't really like that. So notice how sHy's pylon placement is a little bit more spread out. I mean, I prefer that just because, you know, being Protoss, you require pylon power to build buildings. Hey. So if you spread them out more, you know, you have opportunities to perhaps build things in slightly more hidden locations, and just overall you have more space to build stuff. You know, if you just need to build some emergency gateways or something, you can just throw them down. But I mean, it's not the biggest deal in the world. So looks like Shuttle's probe is hiding at the 3rd base of sHy. sHy now sending out his own probe. It looks like he actually spotted Shuttle's probe, and he's actually building a random pylon there. I would assume that's the spot for a Shuttle for any potential Reaver. Both players did go 1 gate robo, by the way. Very, very standard, safe build. Just going for the observer first, possibly a Shuttle. And looks like sHy's going for 3 gate obs, and I think I only saw 2 gateways for Shuttle. Now, if he just goes for observer and tries to do a 2 gate expand, he could be in a little bit of trouble from the 3 gate pressure of sHy. But if he does opt for a Reaver as well, then he should be absolutely fine. I'm just trying to think. I mean, so this map, the notable feature about this map is, okay, it looks like there's a Reaver. It's a reverse ramp map, and you have like this ridge, this ledge that surrounds your main completely. But the mineral line, as you can see, is kind of just tight against the map edge there, away from that ledge. So you know, it should be pretty easy to see Reavers flying into your base, and then you can just pull your probes away. So perhaps not the ideal map for Reaper harassment, but Shuttle has opted to do that anyway. And I mean, having said that, Shuttle can easily just do a defensive Reaver play. You don't actually have to get a Shuttle with your Reaver. A pretty common play in PvP is to just immediately get the support bay and just make a bunch of slow Reavers and rally them to your natural, and then just use Dragoons and Reavers to defend a relatively quick expansion, rather than going out and harassing actively with your Reaver. And it seems that that's what Shuttle's doing. But here comes sHy with these number of units. I'm actually not sure who. Okay, looks like sHy has 1 more Dragoon, but 1 fewer Zealot. Now with good micro, the Dragoon advantage is what counts. But they of course are fighting at Shuttle's base, so the defender's advantage, the quicker reinforcements of Shuttle should allow him to hold this off. Now sHy is being extremely aggressive here. The first Reaver is out. If he snipes that Reaver, it'll be quite important. I don't think he'll be able to though. Yeah, the Reaver shot gets off, and look at this sHy being super aggressive with his 3 gate OMS build. He's actually taking out all the Dragoons. Looks like Shuttle is pulling back the first Reaver here. sHy actually picking all these off is actually more effective than I thought it might be. Shuttle looking a little bit concerned. But I think with that Reaver there, as long as he controls it well and doesn't get overly aggressive, he should be fine. And he's not canceling the expansion, so he really wants to defend this. And if he gets up, he'll be in a perfectly fine position. Even though he lost a few Dragoons, his expansion is way faster. sHy hasn't even started his yet, and these Reavers should help him greatly in the defense. The main thing is if he's able to defend this natural. There's no way that sHy can actually break down that ramp and go kill his main, but he is forcing Shuttle up the ramp here because of this Nexus, and this might actually cost Shuttle. He's only got 2 Dragoons supporting these Reavers. The first Reaver gets taken down, a nice spread of Dragoons by sHy, but it looks like it's not enough. He will be able to get the last Reaver, but that means the Dragoons of Shuttle we'll be able to push him away. But that was an extremely costly defense of that Nexus, losing 2 Reavers for that, and it looks like sHy has expanded himself, but, you know, I still think it's okay. It's an okay situation for Shuttle, even though he did lose those. He's got to not lose these Dracoons, though. Oh, man, what is he doing? I don't know why he moved out with those. He's got to be so careful. And it looks like he actually made a Shuttle. Oh, my God, Shuttle. Why did you make a Shuttle? He should have just only been making Reavers at this point, not making a Shuttle, because he can't really afford to harass at all, and it looks like he's got 2 Dragoons coming down from the low ground. The probes are coming off to fight. I think that was a very bad decision by Shuttle to make the Shuttle, and that's just, why is he called, okay, maybe I should call him Yunjung. I can say Yunjung making a Shuttle. It looks like he's forced to keep these probes off the line to defend. He's lost his observer as well. I'm a little bit surprised that he left the observer there and didn't send it over to sHy's base just to check for that expansion. And there is the Reaver. Now the thing is, now that he has this Shuttle, he will be able to micro the Reaver against sHy's Dragoons. And so that will help greatly. So perhaps it wasn't a mistake. Perhaps that was actually the correct decision. I'm not 100% sure. I mean, basically, at this point, he could either have 2 Reavers, no Shuttle, or that Shuttle and the Reaver. You know, roughly speaking, the Shuttle does build a little bit faster than the Reaver, but so yeah, I don't know what would actually be better in the defense, the 2 Reavers or the added micro of the Shuttle. I guess if he's really confident in his Shuttle Reaver micro, perhaps that's actually better. I mean, we saw earlier how easy it was for sHy to pick off the 2 Reavers with a good Dragoon spread to minimize the splash damage. But anyway, both players have their expansions up now, and I think the faster Nexus of Shuttle was completely mitigated by the probes lost and the lost mining time of... wait a minute, I think I got the players confused. Shuttle's Nexus was faster, but he doesn't have an economic advantage because he had to pull probes and he lost some probes. Yes, good. So, looks like we have 2 Reavers out once again for sHy, but sniping another observer, I think, unless that was a probe. That might have been a probe that wandered close to the edge of the base, but I'm not sure why it would do that. Anyway, it seems that sHy does have a slight supply lead, 76 against 67, 68 now for Shuttle, and it looks like sHy also has a Shuttle of his own. Does actually have a Reaver in it. It looks like he's going to he sees the pylon, the spawning pylon there. He's going to try and poke in and find a free avenue attack. No, looks like he's going back, and Shuttle will now snipe a observer of sHy's that was in his base. Shuttle's building placement, by the way, is like really not ideal. It's like not efficient, it seems. Meanwhile, sHy is going up to a citadel. But yeah, look at his buildings. They're like all really spread out and I don't know, not nice and compact. Not like Harangi's buildings. Harangi's buildings would be nice and pretty. And it looks like we have a citadel as well for Shuttle, who is now feels safe to push out a little bit. He does have the 2 Reavers supporting his Dragoon army. And I'm not sure how many Dragoons, or sorry, how many Reavers sHy has in that Shuttle. Looks like he has a single Reaver. He might have a second one. He's only dropped one that I could see so far. Not too sure. And he is kind of keeping Shuttle contained right here. It's not a hard contain or anything, but it's it's a bit of a contain. And looks like he has gone up to an archives now. I don't see an archives yet for Shuttle, and looks like sHy now has gone up to 2 Reavers. Looks like Shuttle's actually just added gateways. I still don't see the archives. Okay, wow, he's actually, oh no, there's the archives. Okay, so he's going up to I believe that was something like 5 or 6 gateways, and we do have 6 gateways on the opposite end for sHy as well. So both players kind of just macroing up, sitting in their base. sHy playing off his earlier unit advantage to keep Shuttle back. Now I don't know what that pylon is for in the bottom left rather. That is sHy's pylon. I don't know if that's just a spot for hidden bases or if he's actually going to expand there. Of course, one of the, I mean, that's a very smart move, you know. When you have your opponent contained, you should absolutely scout all the bases for hidden expos. That is one of the many teachings of Day 9. Actually, no. That was if you're ahead, scout all the bases. I think you should just always scout all the bases anyway. Especially against Pyridoses, where one little probe can just build every single building you require for a base. Anyways, I mean, the supply count counts are still quite close here. 104 for Shuttle against the 113 of sHy. sHy just with a very, very slight edge. I think really in the big engagement, it's just going to come down to positioning and micro. I don't think the supply lead is gonna play too big a part. But you can see on the minimap that sHy's probe is kind of checking around on the bottom right bases, just making absolutely sure that nothing sneaky is going on. Looks like leg speed has finished for sHy. Oh, doing a bit of a jig there. And looks like speed is done as well. Looks like we have a couple High Templars out. So both players only making 2 Reavers and then going for High Templars. I quite like that, and it's funny, like in my opinion, oh, looks like we have an Observer Snipe. In my opinion, like in the mid and late game armies, Templar tech is far, far superior for Reavers compared to Reavers. So I like that they both transition into Templars fairly quickly, and looks like a nice random Scarab shot there for sHy. Looks like Shuttle actually trying to snipe these Reavers. Can he get it? That's actually going to cost him a lot of Dragoons. Oh my god. Cost him 6 Dragoons, and he just tickled the Shuttle there. I mean, okay, he did take it down to red HP, but actually, now that I think about it, this position is really, really nice for sHy, because I mean, when Shuttle tries to break out, he's going to be running into a funnel here, into a nice arc of Protoss units. A nice storm, though, on the 2 Reavers. He needs one more storm to finish them off, or a couple of shots from units, and he's got the 2 Reavers of his own in the back. Is it enough, though? The position of sHy is just so much better, but we need some more storms. Another storm does take out the Reaver, but there's like no Dragoons left. There's 2 Reavers, 3 High Templar. He gets a nice storm off, but where are the support units? Reavers by themselves aren't going to do that much, and oh my goodness, sHy takes down the Reavers. There are so many High Templar there. I didn't see that many storms, though. And Shuttle, I think, is in a little bit of trouble here. sHy, he's looking good in this game. He's pressing in. Oh, 6 storm, though, taking down the Archon. Another decent storm right there. I mean, that's all Shuttle has right now. He just has a bunch of High Templar, and he actually just needs to use the storms ASAP so he can make them into Archons. You know, even if they're not the greatest storms, just like, you know, sling them and make an Archon. And it's going to be really close here. A very nice storm on the Pack Dragoons. Oh my goodness, actually killing 4 of the Dragoons there. It looks like they were all heavily damaged, and it looks like Shuttle is going to break out here, but sHy, in the meantime, has already set up his 3rd base. So he is up a base over his opponent. Even if he loses that position at the front, it doesn't matter. You know, as long as Shuttle just doesn't kill him right now, his production is going to overwhelm Shuttle pretty quickly here. Looks like, well, I don't know why there's a random probe there. Shuttle just bringing a probe just for lulz. I think he might have actually hoped that sHy would pull back further, and he was going to take his 3rd. But sHy actually just stubbornly holding onto that position outside of the natural, and there's really nothing that Shuttle can do about it. He looks like he's made another Reaver, actually. That might be a really good idea. Since you know, at that point, at this choke point, sHy's units will kind of be running into a funnel as well. So the Reaver will be able to do some nice splash damage on those Zealots. So gotta be quite careful. Interestingly, I don't think I've seen a single High Templar from sHy just yet. It looks like he's just going pure Dragoon Zealot Archon. Just skipping Psionic Storm entirely, and it looks like here we have the 2nd breakout attempt. Shuttle has the 2nd Archon. He has the Reaver that's doing so much damage to the Zealots, and it looks like it's going to be successful. Coming out with the mass Archons. This time he's the one skipping Storm, and it looks like, oh no, he's going to trap the Dragoons. Oh, very, very nice move by Shuttle, trapping those Dragoons, grabbing a few extra Dragoons for free. Now sHy looks a little bit concerned, but as I said before, as long as he doesn't immediately die, he will have the macro advantage. He will be able to outproduce his opponent. Shuttle knows he has to do something right now, but sHy now is on the high ground. He has a Reaver of his own. I don't think this attack is going to work at all. Oh man, this is just not working. Shuttle losing all of his units, even losing the Reaver, not microing that correctly, not picking it up in time, losing all his Archons. And now Shuttle is in terrible position. Oh, a nice random storm there on the Archons. But sHy has held on. He's got 4 Archons there. That is not going to be easy to beat. And Shuttle now taking his expansion, but we can see in the supply counts, sHy up at 112, Shuttle down to 86 now. And his 3rd base is just so far behind. So, yeah. I mean, this is going to be an uphill battle, and that's going to be extremely difficult. I mean, it's a mirror matchup, so you know, it's pretty difficult to pull off some crazy miracle comebacks. Looks like the third base of Shuttle is going to get denied. He's moving out once again. Looks like his army is getting a little bit spread out, though. Not really sure what's going on. Looks like a nice storm. Oh, a very nice storm there. Again, going to morph this into an Archon. Oh, man! Those kind of moves, if he can pull that off, you know, a couple more times, he might be able to do something here, but it's just not looking good for him. For Shuttle, that is. So he's moving out once again. I think I see a probe heading to the 12 o'clock, so Shuttle is going to try and take that third once again, but he has an army disadvantage, he has, you know, the base disadvantage, he has everything. Oh, it looks like a nice Reaver, a nice Scarab went off on the probe line. Unfortunately, we didn't get the greatest angle, the greatest shot, but it looks like sHy's army is coming in here, and Shuttle is just going to retreat. I wonder if he should have just tried and got a couple more good Scarabs on that probe line. You know, just hurt the economy quite a bit. And oh no, the Shuttle gets taken down! sHy sniping the Shuttle with the Reaver in it on the retreat. A huge blow to Shuttle's army. Is that all he has left? It looks like he's down to just like less than a control group of units. The High Templar are even gonna get sniped. So sHy holding on to the base, sniping the Reaver. I mean, Shuttle's taking his third again, but I don't think he can defend that. sHy can just send his units over and kill it. And look at this, Shuttle's actually almost mined out sHy as well, but he has the third base, so it doesn't really matter too much. But Shuttle's actually going to be just going to have no income pretty soon here. sHy, interestingly, feeling a little bit high on the minerals. Okay, and it looks like now he just spent them. I was going to say he was up at over 1,000 there for a little bit, but looks like Shuttle getting his units in position, sweating like crazy. The pressure is on. He's distance mining with his probes. That Scarab! Oh, that Templar, man. Really lucky. I think that Zealot behind him actually blocked. He like body blocked a Scarab. That's pretty brave. You gotta admit. Dude, that's like jumping the grenade, except like the grenade follows you around, man. That takes real balls to body block a Scarab. Anyway, looks like we have another engagement here at the third base. Now this is not the best position for sHy. He's running up a ramp, so his whole, you know, he's not able to bring his whole army to bear at once, and there's amazing storms from Shuttle going down on the army, but it looks like it's not enough. GG from Shuttle, and sHy, looking pleased with himself there, is going to even up the score 1-1 between the teams. Shuttle not too pleased with his performance. But yeah, I don't know. That was, I think that was actually just very well played by sHy. I mean, it was 3-gate obs against 2-gate with a Reaver expand, and he just played the 3-gate extremely aggressively there in the beginning, and yeah, the rest is history. So let us go on to game 3. And oh, I actually forgot to turn on the Brood War music that game. All right, I'll remember for game 3.